Hello, Market Insights watchers. Well, we hope our Market Insights dads had a wonderful Father's Day holiday. And Market Roundup, what does the new Fed dot plot show for future interest rates moves? And in tech megatrends, a software and payments company is riding a direct to consumer trend that may pay off in the future. We'll give you the ticker. And in crypto, of course, Ian will share the latest and greatest in the crypto market, all things cryptocurrencies there. So let's get to it. Hi, Ian. What's up? Did you have a great Father's Day?
Yeah, good morning. It was great. We went to the petting zoo and got some ice cream, did all the fun things with the kiddos. So yeah, my wife's dream is having like a goat farm, but I think like after we go to the petting zoo, she gets her like fill of like the goats and
It's over.
yeah, exactly.
Understandable.
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cute. Well, I'm glad you had a great time there. Well, everyone, before turning to Market Roundup, please don't forget to sign up for the 10X Profit Accelerator Summit airing Tuesday, June 18th, where our friends at Tradesmith will soon reveal what they're calling the most important number in finance to target gains as much as tenfold higher on each trade. You may sign up in the information provided in the email that accompanies this video. So Ian, I like to actually start out Market Roundup today with this really cool looking Fed dot plot. It's all about the Fed. Federal Reserve officials have actually penciled in just one interest rate cut this year and forecasts for more reductions in 2025. So per Bloomberg quote, Fed policymakers signaled they now expect to cut rates only once for 2024 compared to 3 reduction forecasts in March, according to the the median projection. Individual officials' actual views on the best path forward for borrowing costs differed. The Fed's dot plot showed 4 policymakers saw no cuts this year, while 7 anticipated just 1 reduction and 8 expected 2 cuts. Also, a key measure of underlying inflation stepped down for a second month in May, a pleasant surprise for Fed officials looking for signs that they can start to lower interest rates. The figures taken with deceleration in the core CPI in April may represent the early stages of inflation resuming a downward trend. The release landed the morning of the Fed's decision, end quote. So it looks like to me, Ian, we're going to be looking at a little bit higher for longer, of course, with the rates, but what are you foreseeing?
Well, we came into this year, I think, expecting 7 rate cuts this year, and then it was 3 in March. Now we're down to 1. A lot of those expectations have changed in recent months, as we've seen. In this inflation report was a little weaker than expected. It was better than expected. The last one wasn't as good. And also the job market continues to be quite strong. So that's why the Fed is now shifting from cutting because of economic weakness to basically being on hold this year. I think there's been an interesting trade this year going on in financial markets, and that's you have Fed funds high, right? So it means that the money market rate is going to be high. It's somewhere 5 to 5.25.
Right.
And so you can borrow or you can basically invest short term and get 5 to 5.25% on cash. Okay. At the same time, there is a small sliver of stocks that are greatly outperforming the entire stock market. If you look at the rise in the S&P 500, it's been very narrow. Last year was all about the Mag 7. This year it's basically just Nvidia and other related tech stocks. Some of the chip stocks are starting to move up with Nvidia lately. And I think there's been a trade that people have been putting on where it's like you put 50 or 60 or even 70% of your assets in cash at 5%. And then you basically the 30% more speculative bucket in this YOLO asset, right? And that trade, you can kind of see it in the market in the way that it's been moving, where the leadership has been very narrow and hedge funds are going against, into the same exact stocks over and over again that have really been pushing the market. And that's really just the continued AI narrative. And what I think is interesting is when the Fed actually starts cutting rates, will this trade unwind? Because we've always thought that lower rates is going to be good for these high tech, high growth stocks. That move is happening now in the high growth stocks because hedge funds are able to borrow or sorry, invest their cash, the bulk of it at 5%, and then put, the remaining amount in these the very narrow sector. So I think when the Fed actually starts cutting rates, we might actually see a reverse of this trade that's been happening for the last year.
Okay. Well, we'll have to stay tuned to see how that pans out there, Ian.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I
And
do think, and just also sum her up, we
yeah.
kind of have the best of both worlds going on right here, right? Inflation is starting to cool a little bit. The CPI was a little bit weaker than expected. At the
Mm,
same time, the economy is expanding, not at 3%, a little over 1%. And
right.
then the job numbers seem to be okay. So, if we do have a landing, it's likely to be soft, which is a good thing. And the Fed has a ton of firepower to cut from 5% in order to stave off any type of bad economic recession.
Well, that's a good angle to look at this for sure. Well, everyone in tech megatrends, now we all know about supermarkets, and
Oh, don't we?
I don't. Am I going? I'm always there every other. I know everyone there. They all that. Okay, but how about micro markets? Micro markets are a new trend that's cropping up in the apartment buildings and complexes nationwide. As their demand for convenience grows, it's all about convenience. So, micro markets are unstaffed, self service retail spaces that provide food and drink options in unexpected locations. Micro markets are self checkout kiosks for customers to quote unquote grab, pay, and go. They're helpful for people seeking easy food and even your typical household items, often as a replacement to traditional vending machines. And now they're in apartment complexes as more people adapt a hybrid work from home environment. And there's one company that's fueling this trend. It's Cantaloupe Incorporated. Cantaloupe trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker Charlie Tango Lima Papa. So Cantaloupe operates as a software and payments company. It provides end-to-end solutions for the unattended retail market, and it serves customers all over the globe. Now, using micropayment processing, enterprise cloud software, as well as Internet of Things technology and point of sale innovations, Cantaloupe actually aims to empower businesses of all sizes to provide self-service experiences for customers. And as reported by Vending Market Watch, Ian, I was reading this on Vending Market Watch. Alyssa Steiner, Chief Marketing Officer at Cantaloupe, says that, quote, bringing the convenience of shopping for food, beverages, and household necessities right into an apartment building or complex is a very sought after amenity for property managers and their tenants today. It's something that's on hot for today. So property managers are increasingly looking for ways to differentiate their properties and offer new valuable amenities to their residents, capitalizing on the growing demand for accessible essentials within the residential complexes. So one of our pioneering operators, they note, is Blue Agave. I don't know if you heard of Blue Agave, Ian? You may have. Well,
I haven't. Maybe it sounds familiar. What do they do?
sure. Well, Blue Agave, they are really focused on successfully tailoring their products to micro market services to high-end apartment buildings in California.
Hmm.
Blue Agave specializes in products like for food, for beverages, as well as laundry detergent. So it's actually the strategic focus has not only enhanced resident satisfaction by providing convenient access to food, beverages, and household items, but it has also significantly boosted their revenue and growth. So it's just quite interesting, Ian, that this is a trend that's come out of COVID. People working from home, people want convenience overall over most things. And why get in your car or go anywhere, even order if you Uber Eats or DoorDash, and you just go downstairs and get what you need out of these little micro markets. So
Yeah, and I also note, so like the original micro market when I lived in New York City was the corner store bodega, right?
Yes, of
New
course.
York used to have one on every corner.
Hmm.
Now, and the problem with those businesses is they're very low margin businesses, right? So
Hmm.
you don't make that much money selling candy bars and soft drinks and whatever at a bodega.
Right.
And as real estate prices went up, like it was hard for those bodega operators to basically either rent the space or lease the space and make a profit. So many of them in New York have actually closed down. And I think like this idea where you're actually bringing the convenience store back into the actual apartment building
Right.
um, makes a lot of sense to me. So I can see why that could work out in urban areas, especially.
I concur. And I just want to note that this week, from June 19th to the 21st, at Apartmentalized Show in Philadelphia, PA, Cantaloupe will exhibit its smart cooler and micro market products to buyers in the vending market. So it's something
Cool. Definitely one to watch.
something to watch, Ian. So tell me what's on your mind in crypto. Is it about Ethereum?
A couple things. So first off, we're waiting to hear on the Ethereum ETF approval. Okay. And there was a note out on Friday from Bloomberg saying that issuers of the ETF or potential issuers received basically a notice, a questionnaire from the SEC they had to fill out.
Mm.
And that led Bloomberg's analytics team to actually change the date of when they think the ETF is going to be approved to early July.
Okay.
Gary Gensler last week of the SEC was saying sometime over the summer, which many people thought maybe this would be like, late July, August sometime.
Mhm.
Now it looks like because the political winds are shifting in crypto, because Trump has gone very pro crypto and the Democrats don't want to let that crypto vote,
Mhm.
we are seeing the ETF coming sooner than later.
Mhm.
The other thing too, which we've also touched upon, and Andrew and I covered it, some we saw consensus was there is a crypto super PAC called the Fair Shake Lobby, which is now investing in different races.
Mhm.
Crypto people and executives have an ample amount of funds to use, let's say. And so this is becoming a very powerful force in politics. And I think it's a good thing for crypto investors because I think the political winds are really shifting in our favor. So that's number one. The second thing I want to talk about is a little more fun than regulatory issues. Okay, so are you familiar with Iggy Azalea?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So
Mhm.
she's an Australian hip hop artist. She was very
Mhm.
popular 10 years ago. Feels like she's kind of been on the wayside, but she has a huge following around the world.
Mhm.
And she decided 2, 3 weeks ago to issue her own token. Okay.
Okay.
Because there is this thing called meme coins,
Mhm.
Dogecoin and Bonk, Shiba Inu. And so anyone can create a token. So a celebrity says, why don't I create my own token? The token is called Mother. And
Oh.
people were investing in thinking, you want to collect something that a famous artist has distributed. Maybe there will be some value about it in the future.
Mhm.
Uh, people buy Dogecoin. I think it's like an $8 billion valuation,
Mhm.
uh, just because there's a cartoon uh, dog on it. So why wouldn't you invest in this?
Mhm.
So she turned around and announced that she also has a telecom company,
What?
uh, and that there will be some coordination between the token and the telecom company, where if you want to buy a mobile phone through her or pay for your plan, you use that token. Now, this is really interesting in the sense that we live in a world where the celebrity is the most influential, right? If you look at
Mhm.
all the platforms that people are on now, TikTok,
Mhm.
Instagram,
Mhm.
uh, Snapchat, right? The main ones.
Right.
And there are celebrities that have made a fortune on these platforms for themselves, but they do it by basically, hawking other products. Okay. So, for instance, like the Kardashians will get paid a couple $100,000 to basically mention
Mhm.
a certain product. And that led them to creating, their own types of like clothing brands and skincare lines.
Mhm.
Now, I believe we're kind of moving to a world where if you believe this celebrity will be more famous in the future and there will be some type of equity stream, and I know this is going to be, this regulators have to talk about the security laws,
Mhm.
but like, why would you be able to somehow invest in that celebrity, help fund them in whatever endeavor they are using a meme coin or a token, and then get some type of distribution in the future from the value that that celebrity winds up creating in the world. You know, a good example of basically a company that was bootstrapped and became a multi-billion-dollar company just because of celebrity is, you ever heard of Mint Mobile?
Yes.
So Mint Mobile was founded by a bunch of guys, one of them being Ryan Reynolds, who
Mm-hmm.
is a famous movie star. And because of his celebrity, you know, he was able to do the commercials and get people to join Mint Mobile, and they wound up selling the company for a couple $1 billion to, I think it was T-Mobile.
Okay.
And you know, this is just a discount mobile plan. But that model is different than just issuing a meme coin that makes the celebrity's value very liquid. So this is just a new development in crypto, something that couldn't be done in the real world because you
Mm-hmm.
can't issue a digital token outside of crypto. It's something that I'm watching because it might lead to this new fad of many other celebrities jumping in and saying, hey, I'm going to issue my own meme coin. And I might, you know, you might be able to redeem it for such and such things in the future. You know, I always thought that like artists like Taylor Swift would have some type of
Yeah.
way to
Mm-hmm.
basically have a token that, you know, if you're a holder of it, you get early access to tickets, or it gives you, you know, certain in real life experiences if you go to a Taylor Swift concert, or, you know, you can buy certain merchandise. So, you know, this is definitely something that's happening in crypto now, and obviously is worth watching.
Definitely worth watching. That is really fascinating. I'm really actually excited to see what celebrity will come out next with the meme and how it will do. Well, Ian, thank you for
There's a
bringing.
couple pseudo celebrities who have done it so far, but I wouldn't recommend buying their.
Okay. All right. I have to see what celebrity I would consider buying a meme. I don't know.
I mean, like George Foreman seemed to, he used to like pitch everything. Seems like the perfect guy for this, or Shaq.
Yeah. Too. So true. Okay, everyone. Well, that concludes our Market Insights for this week. We appreciate you tuning in very, very much. If you do have a question you'd like us to address next week, please email us at marketinsights@bannonhill.com.
Thanks so much, Amber. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Take care.